Welcome back to my channel. If you're new to my channel, my name is Keena and I post videos about natural hair, thrifted, and affordable fashion. So in today's video, I just want to discuss with you guys some tips and tricks that I've learned along my thrifting journey as a heavy thrifter. Maybe you're new to the whole thrifting thing and the thrifting game and you don't know where to start, you don't know where to begin, or maybe you tried thrifting before but it wasn't your cup of tea, or maybe you are a thrifter and you just want to learn some more tips and tricks that may be helpful for your continuing thrifting journey. I'm here to help. So before we get into it, make sure you like this video, comment, and subscribe. I'm almost at 200 subs, so help a girl out. Subscribe to my channel. What are you doing? It would be greatly appreciated. So let's get right into it. So just a little bit of background information on how I got started with thrifting. I got into thrifting in my early 20s. I was a broke college student, but I still wanted to look fly. Around that time, I was really into watching YouTube videos. So a lot of the YouTubers that I was following during that time, they were thrifters, and I would be so amazed and inspired of the outfits and pieces they would find at thrift stores, how they would put them together. So that kind of was very motivational as well for me to get into thrifting. I started small. I started going to, small local thrift stores close to where I live. Then I kind of, kept going up to like that Goodwill, that Salvation Army. So I got my sister in on the action. Me and her, we would go thrifting on weekends together, and it became fun. Time progressed. I got really good at it. I learned a lot of things by doing and by trial and error. I believe thrifting actually elevated my style of anything. I've been stuck on it, addicted to it ever since. I've been thrifting heavy for about 10 years now. Just letting y'all know my credentials. So some tips. So the first tip I would say is have an open mind. Yes, the store stinks. Yes, that shirt, those pair of jeans, those shoes, that purse did belong to someone else. What else is new? Listen, once you wash those items, once you sanitize those items, they're going to be good as new. You will live. No, you're not taking away from the less fortunate. Newsflash, thrifting no longer has that stigma of just being for people who are less fortunate. So get that out of your head. Have an open mind. Next tip is start small. Don't start at the big Salvation Army or the big Goodwill. Start at the local thrift store down the street from your house. So you kind of get a feel for thrifting, you kind of get a feel for the store, you can kind of get a feel for it in general. Because if you start at a big thrift store, you're going to be overwhelmed. You're not going to know what to look for. You're not going to know what to expect. So start small. Explore the whole entire store. Don't just stick to one particular section of the store. I know some people like to stick to their particular, reach at a store like, hey, I'm a woman, so I'm gonna go in the women's section. I'm a man, I'm gonna go in the men's section. But explore the whole entire store. I have found a lot of nice, great things at thrift stores, not only clothing wise, but for my apartment. You'll be surprised what you find in the men's section or the kids section. So explore the whole entire store. Next tip is especially important if you are new. Find some clothing inspo before you go. So go on your Pinterest, go on Instagram, find some clothing inspiration before you go. Make a list. That is walking into a thrift store not knowing what to look for. It will make your thrifting trip very helpful. Next tip. Once you get established with thrifting or you become a thrifter, establish your top 5. What I mean by top 5 is the top 5 items that whenever you go to a random thrift store, those are the items that you're gonna look for. For me, my top 5 items are blazers or outerwear, sweaters or cardigans in the fall and winter. I switch it out for dresses in the spring and summer. Purses, handbags, button-ups. I love my button-ups. And button-ups, dresses, and skirts. They will be very helpful to you in your thrifting journey. Just in case you're out of town, or maybe you don't have any inspo or have a list for the day, you're just walking into a random thrift store, I have my top 5. Next tip, don't get caught up in the prices. It's easy to get caught up in the prices at a thrift store. I've been there, you see a sweater for 50 cents, and you go, oh my God, that sweater's only 50 cents. You buy that sweater and it's sitting in your closet collecting dust for 2 years. And you realize that you only bought that sweater because it was 50 cents. Buy things that you actually like, buy things that complement your style. Don't get caught up in the prices. Next tip. Spend at least an hour at the thrift store. Thrifting is not some quick in and out kind of thing, like a regular typical store. You want to go through the racks, check things out, look at items, examine clothes. You want to be in there for at least an hour to get the most out of your trip. Don't try to go thrifting during your lunch break at work or before you have to go to an event. Definitely take your time thrifting. I notice when I take my time thrifting, I find the best stuff. Don't go with someone who's gonna rush you. If you have to, go alone, but don't rush a thrifting trip. Next tip, avoid the weekend rush. A lot of people like to go thrifting on Saturdays and Sundays. I'm not one of those people. I hate having to say excuse me 20 times. I hate having to, keep walking past people. People are all in my space. I hate it. So I prefer to go thrifting on a weekday morning or early afternoon. Just my personal preference. If you don't mind dealing with people, that's you. But for me, I feel like I get a better result with thrifting when I don't go on weekends. Next tip, examine the clothes before you buy them. One reason why a lot of people get rid of their clothes is because of damage, some sort of damage to the clothing, whether there's a stain they couldn't get out or there's been a broken zipper, and you end up buying those items and you didn't realize it until you got home that the button was missing and the zipper was broken. So examine the clothes before you buy them. Now, if you're one of those people that know how to sew or know how to fix clothes, need that blazer really bad, it's gonna make your outfit complete, definitely let the customer service know at the front desk. I've done this before, and they will give you a discount on that item. Just point it out to them like, hey, you got a stain on it. You will get a discount. Try it. Next tip, don't be afraid to ask cashiers or customer service questions. Hey, what does these tags mean? What tag day is it? Do you guys have student discount? Do you guys have military discount? Do you guys have senior discount? And a lot of thrift stores, they have like a particular day of the week where they have discounts or they have particular deals. Definitely ask questions. Ask them, what days do you guys restock on your clothes? Especially if it's a thrift store that you really like going to, ask questions. Next tip, expand your horizons. Don't just go to one thrift store all the time. I've been to my local thrift store so many times that I'm bored with them. So I prefer to go, when I do go thrifting, I prefer to go thrifting out of town or a neighboring city. And also go thrifting when you are on vacation. I've done it twice so far, and both times I've found some really nice stuff. So I know the last thing in your mind is when you're on vacation or when you're out of town is going thrifting, but trust me, you will be surprised at the nice stuff that you find when you are out of town thrifting. Especially if you're going to a big state like New York, California, Florida, Texas, you probably will find some really nice stuff. So try it out. Next tip, have fun. Make it a fun experience. Take a friend with you. Preferably someone who is fashionable, who has a great sense of fashion, or if you are new to thrifting, bring a veteran thrifter with you, someone who's been thrifting for a while now, so they can kind of give you their tips, their advice. The next tip is sanitize. Sanitize and clean any article of clothing, any piece that you get from the thrift store before you incorporate them into your wardrobe. I do it. I come from a very spiritual, religious family background, so I like to anoint the items before I bring them into my apartment. Those items did belong to someone else, and I don't know their lifestyle and how they lived and whatnot. I don't want to bring any bad energy or any bad spirits into my home. And the last tip, donate and give back to thrift stores. I know me personally, I get rid of probably about 2 to 4 bags of clothes a year. I love giving back, and I love giving my clothes to thrift stores or my church. Definitely go through your closet, give back to those thrift stores. Any clothes that you don't wear anymore, any shoes that you don't wear anymore, any other items that you don't need. One man's trash is another man's treasure. Well, those are all my tips. I hope this video was very helpful and informative to you and your thrifting journey. As always, thanks for watching.